Our search for an alleged human trafficker from Nigeria leads us to this spot, a nondescript suburb in Florence. A former victim told us where the house was. We equip a colleague, a journalist from Nigeria, with a hidden camera. He'll use a pretext to get a look inside. It's surprisingly easy.
Good morning, good morning. How are you? Is Madame around?
A young woman takes him directly to Madame, as she's known. Material has been hung over the windows, making the flat very dark, and the sound of girls' voices can be heard emanating from the rooms. Our colleague tells Madame that his sister wants to come to Italy, but she's not buying it.
When she comes, she'll stay. Me, I no go stay. So me, I will go back. And if I go back, I don't know. I'm looking for. Who
gives you the location of her?
At some point in the conversation, our colleague outs himself as a journalist. He confronts Madame with the claims made by our informant. Eventually, the woman agrees to an anonymous interview with us in a nearby park. She denies the claims, but seems to contradict herself all the time.
You said those girls were your daughters. Now you are saying they're under rent. So what should I believe?
She admits they pay rent, but says they're all from Nigeria, which is why she calls them her daughters. While we continue our conversation with the woman in the park, our colleague slips back to the house and talks to the girls. There are 6 of them, but not one is willing to divulge what goes on in the flat. We go and visit our informant. We want to know whether the woman in our footage is the one who brought her to Italy and exploited her for years, until she finally bought her freedom for 35,000 euros.
So you recognize this lady?
Yes.
That's the one that treated you badly?
Yes.
So why were the girls so afraid? Because she even let us talk to the girls and they said everything's okay. Why would the girls be so afraid to talk to us?
Yes, because they are afraid because they swear that if they will never tell anybody who is a madam or is anybody. Because when they say it, you can use juju to kill the girl.
We visit the state prosecutor's office to find out why the courts in Florence have failed to prosecute a single human trafficker from Nigeria in the last few years, even though they can see prostitutes working illegally on the street below their office. The problem is that the victims are afraid of the police. Apart from that, there are huge language difficulties to be surmounted. I had the same problem a while ago with a police investigation into the Nigerian drug racket. They often speak in strong dialect, and it's hard for us to find someone credible to interpret that. When we show the state prosecutor our recent research, she appears to be impressed. She promises to look into the case in the next few weeks to see whether she'll initiate investigations.